Okay, let's jump into this. In the description, I put where to find things based on your specific problem, make things easier. Not everybody's problem's the same. So in summary, I just wanted to say that most of the problems are because of airflow that are causing the thermostats to break, or the thermostats just break. Everything's pretty much cheap to fix your own dryer, so I highly recommend everybody just do it themselves. What you're going to need is a flathead, a Phillips, a hex nut, and a voltmeter. The voltmeter is optional if you want to test your parts, or you can just replace them. They're cheap enough for most part. Okay, so the number one cause of all problems of a dryer is the airflow, besides just longevity of the parts just breaking. So what you want to do is clean the lint trap, remove any of the lint from the interior ductwork, the exterior ductwork, and the exhaust hole in the dryer. If it's weak, the air coming out of your dryer, it's most likely an airflow issue. This is the exhaust hole, and to the left of it is the lint trap where the fan can be found. And there is, you want to make sure they're clean and the fan actually spins. Now if you're hearing a humming, that's probably your motor going, or the motor is bad. This will also cause your dryer not to work right. This is rare, so unless you're hearing humming, then it's probably not the motor. If you do hear humming, you're going to have to replace the motor, most likely, but that's beyond the scope of this guide. Okay. Next up is basically your clothes are just not drying. You want to make sure they dry fully, right? So that's going to be caused by either no heat at all, or intermittent heat / long drying times, or multiple cycles in order to get your dryer to dry your clothes. Okay, so what you want to make sure is, does the heating element, which is a flame for the gas or a coil for electric, does it actually turn on? And if it does turn on, does it stay on for 2 to 3 minutes? And we're going to do this by testing to see if it glows first. Set it to high heat and starting the dryer with like 50 minutes on the timer. What you want to make sure is if the peak hole is glowing and whether or not on the inside there's a glow. Okay, so this is the peak hole on gas dryers. Most of them have it, so just take a flathead, pop it off, and it'll be open. And while it's running, you want to see if you get a glow right at the very beginning. If you get a glow, you're good to go. Now if you have electric, up there in the upper left, that's going to glow. You might see it with a gas, but you should definitely see it with an electric. Here's what it looks like where it's nice and hot and it's glowing. Now both gas and electric have on the back side a little peak hole that would be glowing as well for gas and electric while it's running. And this is what it looks like when it's actually glowing, nice and hot. You can also see the flame in there too if you have a gas one. Okay, so if you don't have any glow, you're probably going to have to replace your igniter. If you have an electric dryer, it could be multiple issues, so we're going to have to test them out. So to change the igniter, you're going to want to unplug it, and on the top part is the lint trap door. You're going to want to open that up and remove the 2 screws from there. Mine are hex nuts. I made them that way. Usually they're Phillips. I like having to use one tool as possible, so I made mine hex. And then there's a little crack in the front. You want to stick something flat in there like a putty knife to push in a clip and lift up the door on each side. Each side has it. The black part is the clip attached to the top part, kind of loosely I guess you want to call it, but it's really easy. You just pop it in there and pop it. Also in the door there is the wire. It's for the door latch. This tells the dryer that the door is shut. Now you stick a flathead in there, get the clip, and it'll come right apart. Also in the front of the dryer, the doors are these 2 screws, one on the right, one on the left, and they're attached into these black clips. My clips get loose and out of the way, so I ended up gluing mine with some JB Weld. Anything that glue would work. But you just take those 2 screws off, and then you have at the bottom these 2 clips on the left and right that they're sitting inside of a hole on the door itself. You just lift them up, and that's what they're set onto to secure the door. Okay, so now here's what your drum looks like with the belt to remove the the drum, you're just going to lift that belt straight up and pull the drum straight out. It's real easy. It's barely even sitting in there. And here's the inside of your dryer. You don't have the left stuff if you have an electric one, but we're going to replace the igniter for gas ones, and that's what I circled. Okay, so up close shot, it's the one on the right. It's got one screw that's holding it in there. That's what you want to remove the igniter, and you change the igniter and hopefully they'll see a glow. Okay, here's what the igniter looks like by itself. It just has one little power port at the back, I guess we want to call it. Okay, so what happens if it does glow? You want to make sure you have a flame. And if you don't have a flame, you want to replace the flame sensor. If you have electric or gas and you do see a flame, we're going to basically buy a bunch of parts from Amazon or eBay and replace them one by one. They're cheap enough to do that, and you could probably return the ones you don't need or keep them for spares. Okay, so to change the flame sensor on a gas dryer, that's the one I'm circling. It's got the blue wire going to it. It also has just one hex nut holding it onto the flame area. So I'm going to unscrew it, unplug the two prongs, and replace it. Here's what it looks like when it's by itself. And this, again, is a cheap part from online stores. Okay. So what happens if it glows, you get a flame, but they don't stay on for 2 to 3 minutes, after 2 to 3 minutes? What you want to do is unplug the dryer if it isn't already unplugged, and you're going to want to take apart either the front or the back depending on your dryer. Most things have it on the back. If it's electric, it should be all on the back. Most Whirlpools are also on the back. So you want to remove the back plate, and this is where you would see it. Mine's black, so you want that bottom right hex nut that I have circled here. There's about, I don't know, 10 of them or so on the back. You want to unscrew them to access the inside guts of your dryer. So here's what the inside looks like of the back, and we're going to replace all those parts that the red wires are essentially going to. The first one up is the thermal fuse, which basically breaks if the thing gets too hot. It's a safety issue, and it'll break mostly because of airflow issues, or it could just go bad. It's old. It's like a $5 part on Amazon. It's real quick and easy. It just has one hex nut to remove itself, and you just plug it in. It's real quick and easy. Okay, the next up is the cycling thermostat or operating thermostat that just regulates the temperature of the flame or heating element. Just turns them on or off, basically, whether or not you set high, medium, or low for your temperature. Again, there's only 4 prongs going to it. You just take off those prongs and put them back on with your new part. You're good to go. Next up is the high limit thermostat and thermal cutoff thermostat. They only come in a pair that I found. What they do is turn off if the dryer gets way too hot. There's 4 clips total, 2 for each of them, and I think I got mine for $20 online or $30 for OEM, and you should replace them and see if that fixes your issue. Now if you have an electric dryer, you're going to replace the 2 of them that are located here, or the coils that are also in that general area of that square silver part. That's where you'll find the electric coils. So we're going to remove them with the hex nuts, attaching it to the dryer, and once you open up, you just replace the coils. The coils are probably going to be broken once you get in there, if that is the issue. This is what they look like, brand new. Those things are just springs that get hot. That's how you heat it. Next up is the gas solenoid valves or coils. They're on the bottom left of your dryer. If it's gas, you want to replace them. If nothing else was the issue, you won't have this problem though if it's an electric dryer. So you want to unscrew the first screw on the left. On the right one, you want to do it about halfway so the top part can swivel. And here's what it looks like swiveled. And those are the 2 valves. You just unplug the 2 white parts and remove them. That's it, quick and easy. The left one does have a metal sheath or sleeve, and you want to make sure that stays on there. It might be inside your valve, so poke it out with a Phillips screwdriver. Here's what they look like. Okay, So if you did all of this and it's still not working, it's probably your timer. You can either fix it yourself, or you could send the guy into eBay to fix it for $30, or you could buy a brand new one. And brand new is about $60 to $150. Okay, so to get to the timer, you want to just unscrew 5 or so hex nuts at the top to remove the back panel. And once you get in there, you'll see your timer. This is what mine looks like. On the right side is the electrical diagram. Most dryers should have them. Take a picture, make sure you put each wire to exactly where you found it. It's not so hard with mine. They're pretty much predetermined, but older timers, it's not as easy. There's just 2 hex nuts and the front knob comes off, and that's how the whole thing comes apart, and you can remove it. So it's basically the blue part spins and moves all those gears and such that the copper touches each other and says a signal to tell it what to do. You want to clean those little nubs with a filer. They get dirty, and that's how it stops working correctly. If you want to send it in to this guy called In the Country on eBay, he's $30. He takes about 2 weeks total before you'll get it back. Now, if your problem's still not fixed, it's probably going to be your motor, gas assembly, or even maybe a switch. All those are rare. The switch is probably even super rare, but those are beyond the scope of this. So now I just want to tell you where to find stuff. You could buy them all on eBay, Amazon, or these 2 companies called Repair Clinic and Appliance Parts Pros. Basically, you just want to search your model number on those websites or Google. You can have the word OEM in there to find OEM parts. That means they're the official ones from the manufacturer. Those are going to be more expensive. Lastly, here's some quick tips. Write on your dryer with a marker where your wires went to keep track of them. You can write notes in there even if you want. And what you want to do is replace each part one at a time to make sure you replace the one that actually was broken. Sometimes it's more than one part, so be careful. One part you removed might have been bad, but you still might have issues because it's a different part as well. What you want to do is make a Google Doc, and in there write what parts you changed. Write down the model numbers of your appliance. You can do it for all appliances. I recommend that. If you get rust, WD-40 helps prevent future rust. And lastly, don't use dryer sheets. So I hope you enjoyed this guide. I hope it was informative for you. Let me know in the comments if you want me to know anything. All right. Peace.